This is the form for the candidates for vice president. We'll start on my left, your right, or I'm sorry, your left, my right. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Megan McCulloch. I'm a part-time 3L student, graduating May 2018.
My name is Gabrielle Murray. I'm a full-time 2L, and I will be graduating May 2018 as well.
I'm Samantha Beskin. I'm a full-time 1L graduating in 2019.
Wonderful. Okay, Megan, how do you view the role of vice president within the executive board of the SBA?
I see it mostly as two separate roles, both a sounding board for the president and the rest of the executive board, and then a voice for the students. As we've seen with our current SBA vice president, who is amazing, she has definitely been very responsive to students, hearing them out, listening to grievances, listening to issues like that. That's a huge role, I think.
Great. Gabby?
I believe that the SBA vice president is a very vital role, as important as the president and all the way down to the parliamentarian. The vice president has to be there when the president can't be there. The president has to go to so many meetings, and the vice president, if the president can't go, will have to step in. Being that I've been involved with SBA every year I've been here, I was the 1L rep for my class, and I am currently SBA secretary. I understand that sometimes people can't do everything, and as SBA vice president, I feel that even though I'm considered a higher level role, that I'll be able to fill in the gaps of everybody's position.
Great, thank you. Samantha?
I believe that the role of the vice president position serves multiple purposes. One is oversees all the different committees that are on the SBA. So there's about 7 committees that they would oversee. So not only would they serve on every single committee, they would have a committee underneath them of individuals of the SBA members, which they would have a vital role in advocating for all those committees, as well as stepping into the president's position if that's ever necessary, as well as kind of definitely being the president's right-hand woman in this case for all of the needs that the president may have.
Great, thank you. Next question, this is for Megan. As vice president, your role is to assist the SBA president with SBA business, amongst other duties. Explain your experience in this area and provide an example of your success within this area.
Actually, this year I've served as the vice president for the Georgia Association of Women Lawyers chapter here at John Marshall, and I have absolutely loved that role this year. And I've definitely been in constant communication with our president, so I definitely know what is expected of a vice president.
Great. Gabby, same question. Do you need me to repeat it?
No. As SBA secretary, I understand that it's very necessary to be available all the time. Even when you think you're unavailable, you're still available. I believe that you have to be able to work with everybody. Even if you don't necessarily agree with something that the president does, you have to understand that the president got their position for a reason, and they understand that the student's best interest comes first, and you have to support it and give your full support in the face of the student body and in the face of the rest of the executive board, because if you are not supporting the president, then nobody else will.
Thank you. Samantha, do you need me to repeat the question?
Please.
Yes. As vice president, your role is to assist the SBA president with SBA business amongst undertaking other duties. Explain your experience in this area and provide an example of your success within this area.
So I have not served in a vice president position this past year for any clubs or organizations. However, I did serve as a 1L student representative for the SBA, and I do know that even as a representative, just as a vice president, you will be there to help assist the president in anything that you need and be an advocate for. So even if the president isn't able to attend something or be there, you're able to step in and kind of help and advocate for the needs of what the president would be, as well as I have had many opportunities to serve on other boards, maybe not in this setting in law school, to where I've been able to assist and help with what is needed amongst the team.
Great, thank you. Back to Megan. Please provide one example of one project you would like to spearhead as an executive board member.
Something that I've definitely heard from several students and would like to implement in the next year is an increased transparency, both at the administrative level and the SBA administrative level, especially when it comes to financial decisions. So creating some sort of a program for transparency at both of those levels is something I'm very interested in.
Great, thank you. Gabby, same questions?
One of the projects that I would like to spearhead is Saturday sessions for study sessions, but I understand that that involves student involvement, so I guess it's like all in one to try to get students more involved. I know what we saw this year is that a lot of the incoming 1Ls who got here this year, they were so involved and they basically volunteered for like everything. So if we can keep that involvement going and the 2Ls and then the incoming 1Ls of next year, keep that going, because if we keep them involved in any program that we decide to do, we'll be able to do it to the fullest, because one of the main reasons we couldn't do Saturday sessions is because a lot of the teachers didn't want to volunteer because they felt like students wouldn't come. So if we can show that students are very involved, then we can get those things happening.
Great, thank you. Samantha, same question.
Something that I would really like to spearhead, I think as students, you know, when you're an undergrad, you're a student first. It's always preached to you before you have a job or anything else. But in law school, I think with the diversity of our student body and everyone's different age that they're coming into law school, you know, you're definitely a human first. You have to take care of your own personal human needs first. So something I'd like to spearhead is, as a student, our mental health is really important in order for us to survive our classes and even be dedicated to our courses. So I would really like to implement having more free sessions for the counseling services on campus. Right now you're only allowed 5 free sessions for the entire year. And with everything that is happening around the world and in the media and the real things that are happening, not just on campus, in the Atlanta community and everywhere, I think it's really important that to advocate for our students' mental health needs.
Great, thank you. Do we have any questions from the floor? Yes.
I've heard each candidate talk about the very last question, I guess, events or things that you would like to spearhead. And Samantha, you kind of talked about something new, but could either of the other 2 candidates talk about an initiative that you might have in mind that you'd like to implement here at the school that be good for the student body?
Actually, I just sent my next year's Vice President of Gall an email earlier today, actually very similar to what Samantha actually just said. I'd like to see that though through yoga and through activity, because I know that as students we are constantly sitting, and at least I am always sitting, and that is definitely not good for our health and definitely reflects on our mental health as well. It's not to steal your thunder, but it is also something that I've been definitely thinking about as well, and thinking about how we can get the entire student body on a healthier, both physically and mentally, track.
One thing that I would like to start is to get all of the exec boards from every organization to be able to meet and basically understand that this organization is doing this organization is doing this, and this organization is doing this, because a lot of times I find myself, I like to be involved in everything, but I find myself having to pick and choose because 3 events are going on at the same time. So if we can do something how the presidents have the president cabinet, if we can do something where the presidents can meet all together, vice president, secretary, and treasurers, and that way it'll help all the executive boards understand each other, understand their role better, and to be able to make sure that there are a lot of programs, but there are a lot of programs that are beneficial and all students can actually go to them.
Can I add something as well? So something else that I would really like to start is having more panels and open dialogues about inclusivity, including about race, sex, national origin, everything into that entity, just because I feel like our campus is very diverse. And I know we pride ourselves on our diversity. However, I think inclusivity goes hand in hand with diversity. So I think having those open conversations so that we can have a campus climate that is inclusive would be really important.
Wonderful. Anyone else have any more questions? Yes, sir.
Have any of you ever worked with John or Randy? And if so, what traits do you believe that you possess that will enable you to continue working with them in their role as president?
And just so the audience says, for the people that are not here, John and Randy are running for president. Please answer.
So I think all 3 of us actually have, because they're both SBA representatives and we're all currently on SBA. And so me personally, I've had more conversations with John probably. but I am adaptable and I'm willing to work with whoever and however is necessary to get the job done.
I believe that both of those candidates are very open-minded and are very aware of what's going on in the school. And sometimes, you have so many ideas, and I feel like I'm very structured. So I feel like I could help them kind of make their ideas come into fruition. So if they want to do this, and this, I can say, okay, this is how we can do A, and then we can do B, and then we can see about C. We can see if C is going to work out, but we can focus on A and B because these are our main priorities right now.
I definitely know both candidates well. I am in the same section as Randy, and we are both elected representatives from our section, and we have a great professional relationship and have worked together throughout the whole year with any issue or concern that any of our classmates or the schools had. John as well, we have worked together in SBA capacity as well. I also think it's great that we have the elections at the end of the school year, so we do have the summer to build those relationships up.
Great, thank you. Does anyone else have any more questions? Great, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.